Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I'm your host, David Moore. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is all about my board game, Castle Demon Lord. Yes. Alright, so right now I'm just watching an antichrist video, a false prophet one. And they're mentioning that the false prophet is... Okay, they have this idea, right? So, the false prophet is going to be represented by Cancer. In a lot of movies, they usually show him with like a crab around his neck, like the old Revelation movies from the 80s and 70s. So they already knew kind of this idea what he would be like. But yeah, this is his area, this is his domain, because Cancer is right here, next to the moon sigil. So when the sun rises, this is the sun's highest peak of energy, but this is when it starts to fall, right? So in Cancer is when it starts to fall, because it's that cycle of night and day. And blue represents the throat chakra, so what you speak and what you say. They say he will appear like a lamb as well, and speak like a dragon. So he's right here next to Mars, and Mars is up here as well. So that lets you know he does have a lot of Aries energy. So he speaks like a lamb, or he looks like a lamb, but he speaks like a dragon. Because this domain, what a lot of people don't know, is that water represents the dragon. You have Leviathan, right? He's a giant sea serpent. A lot of the times dragons come from the water, like the Loch Ness monster, the Chinese dragon. There's tons of other myths, but we could look at like Yu-Gi-Oh! You can see when they summon the dragons, they bring them out the water, and they're stronger when they come out of the water, because the water is like their domain. So yeah, you get this reflection. And then they say the false prophet, because this is going to be the Antichrist and this is the false prophet. And they say he's going to be divine, that he's going to claim his divinity. Jesus claimed divinity, right? He was both the sun and the moon. So Solomon means sun and moon. David means day and night. My name's David, so day, night. So you have to realize you have both sides to you. You're not separated. You're one being, right? You just have different powers, but attributes. So, yeah, but then there's right here, this is the month of June. This is August. So, June, July, August. So, July. Cancer's in July. June is Gemini. July is Cancer. And now that we can see this, we know that, yes, the Antichrist and the false prophet are right next to each other in this domain. And it's still Cancer. And this is Leo, which is a king, right? Well, this is the time of the day when the sun's rising. And then this is the day when it reaches its peak, and this is when it begins to fall. And they say that the false prophet will be able to bring fire down from the sky. So what is the fire doing? It's falling down from the sky, right? Because this is the fire element. The sun is the fire element. And once it reaches the west, it starts to fall. That's when the sun sets, right? And then his job is to bring back the Antichrist back to life. So you have to see it in a sense where it's taking the story, because Revelations is chapter 73, book 73, and in the Ars Goetia, the 73rd spirit is Hell, and it's hidden, it's put away, but it's partly good and it's partly evil. And the reason it's that way is because this is the front of the book, this is the end of the book. So it's always going to keep rotating. You can always start over from the beginning of the book, and you can always end it at the end. You can always begin it at the beginning. That's what it's representing. So yeah, they have to show this part of it is good and part of it's evil, but just because it's evil doesn't mean that it's not doing good as well. And just because it's good doesn't mean that it's not doing evil. So you have to just know that there's this cycle, there's this balance. That's why the Libra scales are right at the top. There's a judgment, there's a movement, there's an intelligence, there's a purpose. So that's just my quick video on the false prophet and the Antichrist, just so you guys can get a better idea of what it means. These are the 7 churches. Saturn, the Sun, Mars, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. These two are not necessarily planets in the same way that these are. These are the polarities, and this is the equator. So this lets you know this goes up and down, this lets you know this goes side to side, and this lets you know that it holds all of these pieces together. So basically these two are part of this, right? Now you know. So you got these 7 churches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 7 churches, the 7 directions, or the directions, right? South, north, east, west, northwest. But yeah, now you know. So that's just how it works. Have fun with your life and enjoy. Bye.